So, Aboru Oboye Boshishe, Glory, Awo, Iyanifa, Iyadingbe, Iyadu Temple, Echo Oshe, Ogun, Ososi. May the hunter of heaven and the hunter of earth always work towards our highest good. So, let me put this in the chat so you will have it. We're going to be discussing Ogbe D. Um, I probably need to find it first. uh, I might not have it here. So as I get that to you, because I have it, but you don't. Um, so a lot of times we can't understand or see how um, EFI works directly, right? We can see the outcome of our efforts, right? But sometimes we um, don't really know how to see them, and so because of that, it can make it challenging sometimes to um, when we're going through the thing, right, to see our way through it. And so because of that, right, we see things, we see here it goes. We can see, the difference. Um we can see the difference in the ODE file, but it's important to take them together. And so here we go. I'm gonna put it in the chat now so that we can go over it, and I'll give you just a moment. Um, I'll give you a moment to get that together. Might be. So I'll make two different. I'll make two different posts or two different. I do it in two parts. Uh, so here's the first verse, and then we're going to only use part of the second verse, just because of the nature of the verse. Because we have Okwashe, we don't want to um, exercise that, or we have Okwashe, we don't want to exercise that on anyone. But we want to use this ODE5 because it's relevant. It's relevant with the topic of discussion. So um, I think we're ready now. So can everyone see that verse? Let me get a thumbs up. Ready? So Ogbe D, Ifani, Ogbe D.
Ogbe.
Kóláwimi. Kóláwimi.
Kóláwimi.
The owl under the pepper plantation.
The owl under the pepper plantation. The owl under the pepper plantation.
Let's say it together. The snake is it.
The snake is it.
The snake is it.
That enters the hole.
That enters the hole. Enters the hole.
With its entire length.
With its entire length.
Because the day of favor.
Because the day of favor
have been extended.
Has been extended.
The one had long passed by.
The one who had long passed
The
by.
one who has long passed
the
by.
one long passed by.
The foolish person.
The foolish
person.
Who was the recipient of the favor.
Was the recipient of the favor.
Totally forgot.
Totally forgot.
These were E5's messages.
These
were
E5's
messages.
For Baáyànni.
Baáyànni.
We're going on a spiritual mission.
When going on a spiritual mission.
To the wilderness of Isele.
To the wilderness of Isele.
He was advised to offer a bow.
He was advised to offer a bow.
He complied.
He complied.
Behold, Dàda.
Behold, Dàda.
Brave. The brave.
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 He who tears.
He who
tears
both ground and forest trees apart.
Both ground and forest trees apart.
Ground and forest trees apart.
Travelers to Isele.
Travelers to Isele.
Travelers to the Isele.
Coming along the road.
We're coming along the road.
Coming along the road.
Dàda, the owner of plentiful cowries.
Dàda,
the owner of plentiful cowrie.
Please give me some cowries.
Please give me some
cowries.
To tie in the hair of my head.
To tie in the hair of my head.
Dàda, the owner of plentiful cowries.
Dàda, the owner of multiple
cowries.
Dàda, the owner of plentiful cowries.
Dàda, the owner of
plentiful cowries.
Those who have money.
Those who have money.
Tied to their heads.
Tied to their head.
Are the ones recognized as Dàda.
Are the ones
recognized as Dàda.
Ashe.
Ashe.
So, looking at this verse, understanding what Ifa has to say to those where this Odu is revealed. There's a couple of things that we can notice about this Odu Ifa. One, there's traveling, so someone's traveling. There's multiple people involved in this, right? There's someone traveling. There's someone saying that there's someone seeing someone or knows someone that is traveling. Moving from one place to another. Of course, there's a relationship. But what type of relationship? Then, seeing the hair being attached to the head, right? The calories being attached to the hair, right? What does the hair symbolize? The type of growth, even when we shave the hair, rebirth. The owl under the pepper plantation. So we know what pepper does, right? We know that what alligator pepper does. We know how it has the way to make things happen quickly. What do we need to perpetuate? What energies, where can we expect to see these blessings come from? Well, one thing it tells us the snake. We know what that animal is attached to. So it's telling us, in essence, right? In the first two lines, it's telling us what we need to do and who we need to receive it from. What we need to do to make things happen quickly. Kóláwimi, the owl under the pepper plantation. So, to make things happen fast, to make sure that we're dealing with the right people, this only says that we need to be, in essence, doing things with longevity. This is the way that it has been done. This is the way that will continue to be done. You're like, well, how do we know how to do this? Or how do we know how to do that? Because the ODE5 will give light to it in this way. It'll let us know what energies need to be perpetuated and how to do it. In what context. To make things happen quickly, or the thing is happening quickly. It won't be too far. It won't go too long. There won't be some long time between the blessing arriving to us. It tells us how to push it along. It tells us that we will receive these blessings from our Egbe. Right? That's the snake fitting through the hole with its whole body. Everybody say the snake is Egbe.
The snake is Egbe. Snake is Egbe.
It's Egbe. So who's your Egbe? How will we recognize our Egbe? By support? Will they support us? Right? It's about them recognizing us, not us recognizing them, right? Kóláwimi, the owl under the pepper plantation. Quickly will we gather wealth. Kóláwimi is wealth, success, elevation. Go to bring or collect. Ola, which you know, I like Ola. Ola means wealth, abundance, nobility, success. We to increase. And me is self-explanatory. So we want to be able to receive the blessing quickly. Again, right, we can see about the pepper, the Atari. We want our Egbe to support us, right, completely. It's important for the snake to go completely through the hole, for the thing to completely manifest or move from one place to another. It says sometimes, right, the blessings can be delayed. And it's not because of anything that we've done, right? It's about timing. So we talk about those destined events. This is why it's challenging for people when they start practicing E5. They want the blessings right away. They want things to happen quickly. But I know it kind of gives mixed messages in a way. You're like, well, we need to do this, so we need to use Atari. We need to do the things that we need to do in order for the thing to happen quickly, completely, to move from one place to another, to take us through some transition, right? First, the snake is outside, then the snake is inside. We want the wealth to come from outside, inside completely, and our Egbe will be the ones that bring it to us. It'll be through those groups, through our supporters, through recognition, through these different things, these avenues, these lanes, will we receive the blessing. It was destined for someone to receive the favor. It's someone somewhere else, someone that you helped, right? At the same time, someone that has helped you, right? Don't forget. But more importantly, right? The way we want to look at it first is that we have this blessing coming from far off. Oh, I can feel it coming. Oh, it's about time, right? We know, right? It's time. We can feel it. It's time. We waiting on it. It's time. This Odu Ifa gives us a clear picture about what's going on, right? That it's coming. It's already on its way. You've already done the work, right? There's this destined event, right? Because the day of favor has been extended, that have been extended to someone, has long passed by, right? You had already done the thing for them. So you're looking for a return on your energy. This Ifa says that we should not forget about those blessings and those people. We should not forget about those we've helped, right? Because we may need to continue helping them. But on the other side is that people should not forget the thing that you've done for them. It's possible that both things can happen, right? Right? We know, right? Who's done something for someone and they haven't received a return on their energy? We all have. But there are times when we receive the thank you, or we receive the support, or we receive the pat on the back, or we receive the congratulations. If I give a title to the people who don't give appreciation, they say they're foolish. The foolish person, right, will deny the blessing that they've received. This is the advice, for Baáyànni when he was going on a spiritual mission. Everybody say, I'm on a spiritual mission.
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 You're on a spiritual mission. Everything you do is a part of destiny. It's in alignment with your destiny. He was advised to offer a boy comply. So there's a material sacrifice that needs to be made, right? There's a sacrifice that needs to be made for abundance, for prosperity, for success. But there's also a character sacrifice that needs to be done as well. So Isele, right, can be an event. Again, right? a destination, a party, it even could be. The outcome. Sometimes we have to move from one place to another through the wilderness to get where we're going, right? It may be obstacles in the way, maybe challenges. We may not be able to see clearly. There could be things that obstruct our view, distractions, emotions, trauma, outdated ways of thinking. We have to go through something to get to the place we're going. This is just one symptom of that. Behold, Dàda the brave. He who removes the obstacles, right? He tears up the ground and force apart to get to the place, to get to the destination, right? He removes those things that block his vision, like emotion, like being disillusioned, like denial, right? We see it, right? We can see it both ways. Let's use the big one. Our parents, right? Because all of us have them, and most of us are parents. We must be brave to remove the obstacle even that our parents have placed in front of us. Right? That's the point. Some people can say, oh, you know, my family wasn't that great. Oh, I got the best family in the world. Right? It depends on how you look at it. It depends on if you can see the forest for the trees. Can you make it to the event? Can you make it to the place, right? Because you've given these things to obstruct your view. It's intentional. If we disillusion and we can't see the thing for what it is, then how will we make it through it? That's not being brave. Looking at oneself clearly. Understanding where one is. Right? We call it like working in our shadow. Isn't that what the tree casts? A shadow? The thing is being brave, right? And not being foolish. So we can see, even in this verse, the difference between the two. Looking at things through two different lenses. Is that they both have the same obstacles. But we can be both. We can be the foolish person, right? Who regrets or denies or is caught up by emotion or trapped by illusion. We can be that person. We all have been. Being loyal to one's destiny and to oneself. We're moving from one place to another, right? When we can't see the forest for the trees sometimes, being brave and being able to remove those things that block our vision. It pays. It pays. Travelers to Isele are coming along the road. There's other people moving about. Right? So we know, right? We're not just talking about the physical, but we're talking about the spiritual and emotional body as well. Every time you take a walk down memory lane, right? Every time we remember something that happened in the past, right? Especially when it's negative. Not remembering or seeing things clearly, even in the past, right? It's a place that we're moving to emotionally. It's a place that we're moving to mentally. if we're not moving physically. If I said that either way it goes, right, there has to be some strength and character, right? We have to be brave when we are faced with these obstacles. Some placed by some of those we love. Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, friend, confidant, sister, brother, parent, grandparent. Some things we know and some things we don't. What's the outcome of this action? Abundance. There's a place we going. How are we going to get there? We have to be brave. We have to remove the obstacles. The bravery brings abundance. Foolishness brings lack. Dada, the owner of plentiful calories. Please give me some calories to tie to the hair on my head. Dada, the owner of plentiful calories. Those who have money tied to their heads are the ones recognized as Dada. Dada. Wow. So where is the place that all this happens at? If I gives us some real world things, right? The wilderness, right? The pepper plantation, the snake in the hole, right? If I gives us all these things to help us to visualize the message, the ground, the forest, right? Because the way that we see things, the way that things happen in our head is the way that they will appear or the things that we will experience in this life. At the end of the verse, it tells us twice. It tells us twice. It reiterates the head and how the wealth is tied to the head. So the abundance that you may have or that you attract is tied to the head, tied to your destiny. When Otun Jagun Awova was receiving his coronation, right? There was things that were tied to his head. Because it is from his head that he will lead. It is through his head that he will see the world and begin to change and make his imprint. It is your ori or your destiny that your wealth is tied to, but there's things that you have to go through to unlock it. Right? Everybody would like to hit the lottery, but it's not just about money. The abundance that could be tied to one's head is spouse, children, confidants, friends, the thing that you do for a living, the way that you make your imprint on the world, the legacy that you leave behind. These things are tied to the head. Questions, concerns, comments on that verse? Ifatusin.
So you were speaking about things being tied to his head. Is that why our hair is removed so that there's no blockages to what needs to be tied to our head to reach our destiny?
So it's really not about that. It's a renewal. But there are certain things that are tied to your head before, yes. And through the initiation process, those things are removed and you're reborn.
Ashe, thank you.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
I don't feel like it. Benny. I share anybody else. The second verse, Ifani, Ogbe D.
Ogbe D.
Baby.
Baby.
Oromila declares that it requires physical force.
Aroma declares
Oromila
that it
declares that
requires
it
physical
requires
force.
physical force.
Go for it.
Let us use physical force.
Let us use
Let us
physical
use
force.
physical force.
Go for it.
If it requires the use of preternatural force,
If it requires the use of preternatural force,
Natural force.
let us use preternatural force.
Let us
let us use preternatural force.
Who does not know
Who does not know
that preternatural force
that preternatural force
Supernatural force.
manifests before any other force?
manifest
manifests before any other force?
Any other force.
These were Ifa's message for Oromila.
These
These were Ifa's
messages
messages for Oromila
We're going to initiate
when
when
going
going
to
to initiate
Aro ni Maja
Aro ni Maja
into Ifa.
into Ifa.
He was advised to offer a bow.
He was
He was
advised to
advised to offer the
offer.
bow.
He complied.
He
He
complied.
complied.
Ashe.
Ashe.
So again, right, this piggybacks off the first verse. Is the first verse tells us how and where, what is the method that we need to use to remove blockages, right? The ground and the trees that may be in front of us, or the trees of the ground or the forest, whatever, right? Whatever is in front of us that we need to be brave in order to remove them, right? That we have to get out of the shadow, right? And it requires work to do so. In this verse, right, it tells us several different things. It tells us, right, we know that Oromila would never tell us to use physical force. It's doing this to draw the comparison. Let us use physical force because we're going to do what Ifa says. But if it requires that we use another type of force, another type of energy, movement, we understand physical force moves one thing to another, right? We have to push or pull or drag or open, right? There's something that this Odu Ifa saying that we must do or that we have to do or that we do regularly. You know, sometimes we're used to handling things in a physical way. We're used to doing it on our own. Right? We used to doing it on our own. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna make a way. I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm gonna make it happen. This is the physical force. But the physical force, right? The thing that we do, like back in the first verse, the one, in order to extend a favor, right, requires physical force. Right? It requires physical force to make it to the Ifa Grove, right? To gather the money for Ifa consultation, right? The offering of Egbe, the giving of good advice, following one's taboos, right? Sometimes requires physical force. This is the physical force that Ifa asks us to use. and doing good, to do things well, to do things completely. But we have to understand, right? There's another force, right? When we destiny, Orisha, Irumale, karma, dharma, consequences. These are the things that have this preternatural force. Preternatural. There's a different type of force, right? Destiny, will, truth, good health, even abundance and prosperity, right? If it's destined for you to have, it's destined for you to have. If it's not, it's not. This is what Orunmila had to realize, right? And that he tried to teach us, teach the Omwawo, right? Because we all Oruma's Omwawo. The favor that we extend to others, right? Right? The physical force that we exhibit. That there may be a different force that we don't see, or different energy that we don't see that is causing the challenge. Right? Because we talking about character. Right? So one can pull the wool over someone's eyes. One can deceive. One can lie. One can mistreat. Right? These are those forces, right? It started first in the non-physical before it showed us the symptom in the physical. It showed us the result in the physical. So sometimes we look at it and be like, why me? Why they do this to me? Why I'm going through this, right? Or why are they going through that? What did they do, right? There was some force, right, that was not seen, some energy that was not seen that exhibited itself in the physical. It started, right, with character. It started with maybe sometimes the person's ori being imbalanced, not being strong enough, not moving out of the shadow from the first verse, not being able to move around obstacles, not being able to see. These things cause a different energy to be invoked. This is what happened with Orunmila when he initiated Oro ni Maja to Ifa. Oro ni Maja was a medicine man. He was a wizard, if you will, warlock, some may say. He noticed that there was some things going on and that his, things wasn't popping the way they normally pop. He would have to redo some of the things that he was doing or do things another way, right? But he noticed that there was a change in what he was doing. He went to Ifa consultation. Ifa said, you need to initiate Ifa. He said, no problem, but I don't have the money. It's crazy because someone asked the question, Naze asked the question the other day, Thursday, about not having the money. And so I tried to explain to her that the difference between having it and not having it and not giving it, or having it and not using it in the right way was different than not having it. In its verse, if I tells us what happens with the foolish person. So it's important that we draw the line between them so we know how things look. We know how to recognize it. We know what the symptoms are. We know how to avoid it personally. Ogbe says that yes, we will be rewarded for our bravery in those good acts, and that there's challenges associated with the foolish. Aroni Maja was initiated to Ifa, and he promised Orunmila that he would repay him, that he would do right by him after the initiation. Aroni Maja did not do as he promised. So when we look at the first 4 lines of the verse, Orunmila declares that it requires physical force. Let us use physical force, right? The initiation process. There's something we must do, right? It's that balance. But it requires, right, the good ori and the good character, right? That preternatural force, right? That it also requires. The good deed that is done should be repaid in kind. Aroni Maja did not repay Orunmila. He didn't consider Orunmila. He didn't um, um, thank Orunmila. He didn't, because almost instantly his life changed based on the Ifa initiation. So when Ifa Tusin asked about the cutting of the hair and the rebirth, right, it can be instant. Within a few days, right, or even based by you being there, things can change drastically, whether it's in your vision or not, right? Because things have changed in the spiritual world. That preternatural force that it's talking about, at that time, one receives one destiny. So things change. Will you accept the change? Is your heart in the right place? Is your character in the right place? Are you out of your shadow? Are you working on your shadow? Or are you feeding it? It's something we all have to like look at ourselves and ask the question. Am I working on myself? Am I doing right by others? Am I repaying kindness with wickedness? Because it is, right, in this Odui 5, it says that Aroni Maja lost one eye. So he was not able to see clearly. Right? We know we need 2 eyes to see depth, but even what about your spiritual eye? What about your third eye? Your third eye can become blocked by not doing the right thing by people. It's that preternatural force that Ifa is talking about. Those other forces that are manifestations of our Ori and of Olodumare and Akamara, these Orisha and Orunmila, right, will hold us accountable. He lost one hand, not being able to hold one's blessings completely, not being able to use, right? Because there's balance again, right? That's why we have 2. Not being able to hold one's blessing. He lost one leg after Orunmila had made him relevant and important, after ensuring that his life would turn from bad to good, after helping open opportunities, he is repaid with wickedness. This is the warning that Ifa gives us about the foolish person who seems to forget about the favor that was done to them. Ifa says that we should continue to pray for those who are loyal. It doesn't say that we shouldn't pray for those who aren't loyal, right? We pray for them to see the error of their ways, right? But we especially pray for those who doing what they're supposed to, who showing appreciation, who showing gratitude, who are being benevolent. Again, let all those advised to offer a blow do so accordingly. The rewards of loyalty, especially to oneself, is blessing, abundance. The reward for those who are not loyal, right? They threefold, right? So what energy is present? What energies are present, right? Because there's three different things that this Odu Ifa says happening to Aroni Maja. Right? We talk about, right? We all deal with numerology. What Orisha is associated with the number 3? Anyone?
That's you.
Who?
That's you.
Annie. Who else? Who else, Ojibona?
The Iyami.
I want Yami. So it's an interesting thing about Orumula. And so, I'll say it later. I won't say it here, but I'll tell you after we finish the live. Are there any questions? Greece.
No questions, Baba. Thank you.
Ifabanke.
No questions. But this Odu is really, this class and this Odu is really powerful for me today. For me today. So I'm just.
Ashe.
Not right now, Baba. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Ifafemi. Ifafumike.
No questions, Baba.
Ifalekan. Ifalowo.
Oh, no questions, bro.
Ashe. Ifalowo.
Rabora boya boshishe baba.
Obwato. Asturi word wafun. Commander.
Everything's good. Everything's good.
Ashe.
Now, I came in a little late, but what I did hear right now, it's crazy how I woke up and right when I hopped on class, what I heard helped me a lot, especially because you said to do the yearly and with all the payment stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that resonated with me right now, and we're gonna get that handled Monday. First thing.
Well, no, that's Ashe, but that's not. I can see how you can say that applies to that situation. You know, it's just it's your time and stuff like that. But I don't think you in this category. Ashe Ifarike, you too funny.
No questions.
Ifa Tucson,
Not yet.
yeah, Ayo.
No questions, Baba.
Ifa Sola, I know she ain't gonna say nothing. Anyway, let's see. Omoya.
Abora boy, abortion Baba. I do have a question. It's not, but it's not pertaining to. It's not pertaining to the to what we were just discussing. I'm sorry, I'm multitasking. I wasn't expecting you to.
Bet you it is.
So it's about a dream, and yes, it's appropriate for class.
No,
I had a dream. Oh, go ahead.
I bet you it's tied into class, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, it is. So I had a dream last night. And it was about family members, and we had went grocery shopping. I'm sorry. Here, you're gonna have to drink out of it regularly. And then let me finish up and I'll come talk to you soon. So I had a dream last night about family members. And in that dream, my cousin and I we went shopping and we were I was putting my groceries inside of my car and she was taking her groceries inside of her house, but her and her guy was helping. Her and her guy were like handing off groceries, so they ended up putting some of my groceries inside of their house. And so when I shared with her guy, like, oh, those are my groceries. Oh, come back. Like he was like ignoring me and just still taking all my groceries in. So it was from a store like Costco. It was like bulk items, like for snacks for children and just bulk items. And I noticed like they were ignoring me and like continuing on like I wasn't existent. So I called my cousin's mom to let her know, like, something's wrong with her because she, I didn't want to go in her house. So I don't know. It was just really weird. And so her mom called her and was like, oh, give her groceries. What's wrong with you? So I went into the garage to like get my groceries because again, I didn't want to go in her house. Like, I don't know, the energy was weird. So I just was trying to, put my things inside my car and go. And so she was talking smack and like, she's like she wanted to fight. And I'm just like, about my groceries? Like I'm so confused why. And like I woke up and then I don't know, it was just weird. So I wanted to see, could you help me dissect that? Because it was so weird.
So the dream, so first we need to understand, right? The dream is not about the past, it's about the future. And I'm not saying that, I'm saying that for everyone's benefit. So of course, right, it's telling us about things that will happen in the future. And so from that, the first thing I want to say is don't fight with anyone, even in a dream. Somebody asked me why.
Why, Baba?
Because the dreams are the future. So if you fight with someone in the dream, you will fight with them in the future. Right? So we don't want that. So if you can exercise control even in the spirit, right? So even it ties in with this Odu talking about preternatural force, right? Spiritual force. It happens in spirit before it happens in the physical. Even though in this Odu Ifa it says that it happened, it gives us an idea that things will happen in the physical first and then in the spiritual. But it tells us no, it's things happen in the spiritual first, and then it makes its way to the physical. So I told you that what you had, your question has something to do with this class. So the dream world is that preternatural force. So what is important is, right, to see that even though, you may do things with someone, right? And it could be family members, it could be friends, right? People will try to take your blessing, right? Because you earn the money, right? You have the right, you have the privilege, you have the access to receive your blessing, even in bulk. But it shows you, right? There's two people, a man and a woman. It could be them, it could be anyone else, right? Because we know sometimes people mask themselves, especially with the shapeshifter energy, right? What Orisha is that? Oya. That shapeshifter energy can, you know, it can be one way in the beginning. The whole time they eye your blessing, and then they want to put your blessings in their house. This dream tells us to be mindful about who we around, who we share our blessings with. But don't fight with anyone. Right? It shows you the plans or the intentions of others to receive your blessings in their house. Things that's meant for your family and for your children and things like that. The things that you've earned, the blessings that you've earned, those things that you have worked for. Again, this Odu Ifa says that there's a consequence. It's only the foolish who will do things like that. But don't be fighting with nobody. You know? Ashe. Thank you, Omoyaka. Ashe. You know, be mindful. We'll talk more about it later. But anybody else? Nope. So Aburu, Aboye, Abo